Welcome to Reparenting Daily, your free daily guide for inner child healing and repairing the relationship with yourself. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is the daily reading, the second is a discussion of the reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is peaceful binaural beats meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you could join us on this journey of self-expansion. If this is your first time here, welcome. As a celebration of passing episode 700, I've opened a free membership tier for the Patreon community so you can access additional resources and join the weekly Zoom calls for free. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and that so many people are really struggling. My hope here is to still encourage others to continue the work on reparenting and to offer a free community where people can come together and do that. I'd also like to thank all of you who've been along on the journey so far. Just as a reminder, this is a free podcast, but you can support the project by purchasing the Reparenting Daily Journal, where you can follow us along all year. This 333-page journal gives you extra insight and resources for each week, and also provides space for you to keep your notes. Another way to support the podcast is to purchase the Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, volumes 1 through 3. This collection organizes famous and obscure fairy tales from around the world into the 3 phases of the hero's journey. While you might think that fairy tales are for kids, I'd like to challenge you. These stories contain profound truths and lessons carried down over millennia that we can use in our reparenting journey. It's a fun way to reconnect with your inner child. Each volume comprises 10 fairy tales. They include an analysis section to help you dive deeper into the message, as well as journal prompts and space to reflect on the story's meaning in your life. Lastly, you can also support the project by taking a paid Patreon subscription, by purchasing the books on the website, or by donating via Buy Me a Coffee. You can find all this information on the Support Us section of the website. So now, with these announcements out of the way, let's dive into today's practice. Today we're going to be listening to a portion of a lecture entitled, Your Brain Won't Let You Change Until This Happens. This is by Chase Hughes, who is, I think he was like in the CIA or FBI or something. So he does a lot of videos on like the psyops, mind control, mind influence, persuasion, human behavior, all these sorts of things. And I came across this morning and I thought that it was very fitting to the theme of this week. By the way, we are in April and the theme for this month is developing structure and discipline. We're in week 2 and the theme for this week is building supportive routines. Now, in this video, he talks about what keeps you stuck, why your brain won't let you change, and what the solution is to be able to come over those hurdles. So as always, we'll listen to only a portion of the lecture, and I encourage you to click on the link in the show notes to listen to the video in its entirety. It's not that long, but there's some great information here, some great insight, and some great tips and solutions at the end. So I hope you enjoy.
This is the prime time to get deep into some hardcore brainwashing. So we're going to take the most hardcore approaches that have ever been done and learn how to redirect it on ourselves first. This is the way that I do it. I reverse engineered every classified and unclassified training document I've ever read in my life and just kind of reverse engineered it to work on myself and to change my own behavior. And I think there's a ton of really high quality bullshit out there about goal setting and discipline and how to change your own behavior. If your brain does not have the raw materials to produce motivation and focus and emotional regulation, there is no mindset on earth or meditation program in the world that's ever going to save you, ever. So I don't care how disciplined that you think you should be. If the chemistry is off, the system fails, period. Full stop. And that's just a mechanical failure. So it's not that you didn't accomplish your goals or you were weak or that you needed more discipline or more motivation. It's just that the system you're using is underpowered. So most people in this room don't have a discipline problem. You have a manufacturing problem. So neurotransmitters are not beliefs. But there are 3 big chemicals that decide if you're going to win. And I want to try to strip this down to what actually matters. And the first one is dopamine. And on our final exams, when I was in school for this, there were 3 words for all the neurotransmitters that we had to memorize, which was a great way to kind of shorthand it. And for dopamine in college, for me, it was drive, direction, and pursuit. Drive, direction, pursuit. So people say dopamine is pleasure. That's a lie. It's Way completely false. Dopamine dysregulation is the cause of Parkinson's. It has nothing to do with pleasure. So dopamine is misunderstood. Dopamine is the signal that something is worth moving toward. So when dopamine is healthy, if I make some effort, it feels meaningful. If I make some progress in my life, it feels real. And the actions that I'm taking towards a goal or whatever feel really obvious. If dopamine's low in the brain, shit feels pointless. Planning replaces action. I'm going to do all these journals, little 1-year plans, little whiteboards. The word tomorrow becomes kind of a lifestyle for us. And the second neurotransmitter is serotonin. And the 3 words I want you just to think about with serotonin is control, stability, and restraint. Serotonin is not happiness. I want you to think of serotonin as impulse control. It's the chemical that lets you pause instead of just reacting to something. It lets you delay gratification. It lets you stick with something when it gets uncomfortable. So if your serotonin is low, it looks like emotional volatility. You have more anxiety. You get pissed off more easily. It's I know exactly what I should do, but I can't make myself do it. And the third chemical is norepinephrine. Norepinephrine. And the 3 words I want you to associate with this are readiness, energy, and backbone. So this is the one that people confuse with stress. But if you look at norepinephrine, it's regulated intensity. Healthy levels of norepinephrine feel like an alert sense of calm, like you're more resilient to stress, and like a readiness to act if something happens. Low norepinephrine is brain fog, avoidance, learned helplessness, fatigue that sleep won't fix. And if your norepinephrine's too high, we have anxiety and panic and burnout and definitely going to get some insomnia there. But let me kill one more myth here. And this is a big one I had written down. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies don't just happen to malnourished kids in Somalia. They happen to people that are stressed, that live a busy life, that are disciplined, people who push through stuff, people who skip meals, people who sleep like shit, people who live on a whole lot of caffeine and adrenaline. So I just want you to write this one thing down. Stress burns nutrients. And if I have less nutrients, I have inflammation. And inflammation blocks the absorption even further. And then sleep deprivation wrecks our receptor sensitivity, the receptors that we need to absorb all of this good stuff. So you can eat the most perfect diet ever and still be super depleted. So your body is not failing on its own. It's adapting to essentially what you're doing to it is abuse. So let me say the lie out loud in a way that makes total sense for you. If you define your goal clearly enough, if you want it badly enough, and you visualize it long enough, your behavior is going to start aligning. That sounds reasonable, but it's absolutely, completely wrong. Because what is that assuming? When you go watch a Tony Robbins goal setting video, what's it assuming? It assumes that you're a rational decision maker. You have stable motivation. It assumes that you have stable motivation that never goes away. It assumes a completely cooperative nervous system that's running on balanced neurotransmitters and has no deficiencies. And it also assumes a brain that prioritizes the future over the present. Not one of those things describe a human being under stress. This is why they fail. So if your identity says, I'm the kind of person who quits, I quit everything, I'm inconsistent, I always fall off, I start everything great and I finish everything in a shitty way. Your nervous system will protect that story no matter how badass and pretty and awesome the goal is. The brain values predictability above success. It values predictability over success.
Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please find a place where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you most comfortable today. Just take some time to listen to yourself. Next, be sure that you're taking time to be with your breath and to connect more fully with your body. Don't be disturbed or overwhelmed by your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass. Just observe them. Do not engage with your thoughts. Only be mindful of them passing, as if they are leaves drifting down top river. Use this time to connect with yourself, whatever time of day you are listening to this. Namaste.